are joining us from disappearing bloggers to burning police stations, insurance payouts to political shout-outs. Tonight's bulletin takes you through a country on the edge, online and on fire, sometimes literally. Welcome to the Thursday edition of the KUTV Prime Time News on this 3rd day of July 2025, the first Thursday of this very month, and we have a lot in store for you that our very capable reporters have been able to compile for you in giving you and keeping you abreast with matters happening in the country and also beyond our borders. But first, let's take a look at the highlights of tonight's top stories. Missing activist Ndiangui Kanyagia resurfaces in court after high-profile disappearance sparks dead or alive court order. Democracy for Citizens Party DCP accuses state of using security agencies to silence dissent in Embu County. 3 arrested in Garissa for posing as legal professionals as the Law Society of Kenya intensifies crackdown on legal fraud. In London, President William Ruto defends the competency-based curriculum reforms and praises food import drop, urging the diaspora to invest back home. All right, we gear in with the invitation to join us through our social media handles at KUTV_Kenya on the X platform, and also we're streaming live on the YouTube platform at KUTV News Kenya. You can as well reach me at _Emmanuel Kutosi. My name is Emmanuel Kutosi, and on the sign language interpretation, we'll be sailing through with Sammy Okello. Let's get into it. Ndiangui Kanyagia, the controversial blogger, finally resurfaced in court today alive, which is more than many expected after the High Court dramatically ordered his production dead or alive. A social media loudspeaker, Kanyagia was allegedly on the Directorate of Criminal Investigations radar when he vanished from his Kino home.
The missing blogger Ndiangui Kanyagia, who disappeared for over a week, has resurfaced, saying he's ready to appear before the DCI and in court, but only if his safety is guaranteed. According to his lawyer Wahome Dhuku, Kanyagia went into hiding over threats to his life and is willing to cooperate with authorities once state protection is assured. DCI was searching for Ndiangui Kanyagia over allegations related to his online activism and criticism of government officials. His blogging exposed corruption, leading to increased pressure and his subsequent disappearance.
Yeah, they will come here and Dr. affidavit and be cross-examined.
On the other hand, lawyer Kibe Mwingai told the court that Kanyagia had been located but was in poor health. He asked for time to meet with the family and requested the court to prevent any arrest or detention until the disappearance case is fully heard.
Just for the record, Kibe Mwingai appearing with Mr. Kirango Abuta, who is on the way, he is down there, and Mr. Wahome Dhuku for the family.
Justice Chacha Mwita made it clear that the court has the power to order and produce a person. The court ordered the government to bring Kanyagia and carefully check the state stories. The case will continue on July 18th and 24th. The court also ordered the police not to arrest or hold Kanyagia during this time and to protect him fully.
So we will have to stagger it. We take 18th and then we will proceed on 24th. How is that? Mr. Bitter?
18th, that's okay.
24th. That's okay.
The case continues as the nation awaits justice and answers. Edna Nerea, KUTV.
Thank you, Edna Nerea, for that report. And we head now to the Lakeside County in a matter of a blogger who was not as fortunate, where angry youths carrying the coffin of the late Albert Ojwang, who turned the funeral procession into a furnace. Mayogo police station, where Ojwang was temporarily held, was set ablaze by mourners turned protesters. What started as a march with songs ended with smoke and scorched walls just a day after a Requiem service that eulogized Ojwang as unproblematic and taken too soon. And while politicians trade blame, insurance companies are doing the math. After the Gen Z protest left businesses ruins, the CIC Insurance has begun dishing out millions in compensation. Speaking in Thika Group, Managing Director Meshek Miogo called on business owners to review their policies because politics is unpredictable, but coverage should not be.
Customers ambao wamechukua bima na CIC hawafai kuwa na wasiwasi wowote kwa sababu tuko na wao. So na pia wewe kama mteja usichukue bima kwa sababu unataka kulipwa. Chukua fursa kwanza kuchunga biashara yako.
Now, the Public Order Bill 2025 has kicked up public disorder, at least in debate. Proposed by Nairobi Woman Representative Esther Passaris, the bill aims to limit protests near places like State House and Parliament. But critics say it's a blanket ban on democracy, and with penalties including 3 months in jail. Kenyans are asking, is this a bill for public order or a gag order?
On 1st of July 2025, Nairobi Women Rep Esther Passaris tabled the Public Order Bill before the National Assembly, which proposes banning all gatherings within 100 meters of the protected areas. The bill comes even as Kenya's Protected Areas Act already banned unauthorized access to the government zones such as the State House, courts, and the Parliament. This has sparked diverse reactions, with the citizens asking the bill to be abolished.
I think that's total nonsense, because this bill, we can't advocate for them as citizens, as Gen Zs as well. We are fighting for this nation, and we will do everything. If it's like gaining our lives, going to the grave because of fighting for this nation, then we are ready for it.
Majority of Kenyans have opposed the bill and urged that it should not be passed as it restricts them to their constitutional rights to protest.
I think it should not be passed because, first of all, when the protests were happening, it's the government who made the goons to destroy property.
It's just trash to me. Because why should anyone who's found near a governmental institution, for example, Parliament, jail, and let's say he's just there peacefully, not destroying anything or just vandalizing anyone's property or any governmental property. To me, that's not a good bill. It should not be passed.
Majority of the citizens stated that the bill is only meant to protect the government and it suppresses the protestants. And if the bill will be passed, violators of the new law could face fines of up to 100,000 Kenya shillings or up to 3 months in jail. This has sparked public reactions even as Sabasaba protests are approaching, with the Gen Z saying that they will still be on the streets.
Me, that bill, if I kupita.
As the parliament's decision is awaited, tensions continue to rise, with the youth clearly showing that they will not relent to their efforts to defend their constitutional right to protest. Parliament buildings are one of the most protected areas, and with Sabasaba demonstrations approaching, majority of Kenyans are opposed to the Public Order Acts. Only time will tell whether the bill will save the day. Patricia Alex for Kutv, Nairobi.
Thank you, Patricia Alex, for that report, and also the inquest on the forthcoming Sabasaba protest. What will transpire? Now, the Democracy for Citizens Party, DCP, in Embo is crying foul, claiming the ruling United Democratic Alliance is using the DCI to intimidate its members after several party officials were summoned over vague allegations. The opposition says the state is weaponizing law enforcement. DCP is demanding due process and a break from do as I say politics.
In what the Democracy for Citizens Party terms as politically engineered harassment, top officials were summoned by the DCI officers in Embu East and grilled for close to 8 hours. Party coordinator Joshua Kanake expressed concern that the probe lacked transparency, calling it a direct attempt to stifle dissent and muzzle opposition voices.
Walete hapa kwa station, Religious Police Station CID's office, walikuwa wameitwa kueleza kinagaubaga mkutano yao walikuwa wamefanya tarehe 25 mwezi wa 6 mwaka huu, na kulingana na report ile tumepata ni kwamba kuna watu walalamishi ambao hawajulikani.
Steve Simba, another senior official, lashed out at the government, accusing it of weaponizing security agencies to threaten critics instead of addressing economic issues affecting the citizens. He stated that such actions will not restore the public's trust in government.
Na ilikuwa aibu kuwa tumekaa siku mzima kuandika statement ambayo is baseless. Wewe uliitwa na nani? Kwa nini ulikuja mkutano? Ulitoka kwako saa ngapi? Uliambia watu nini? Sasa wanasiasa unawauliza waliambia watu nini? Hata kwa nini walikuenda mkutano? I mean, things that are...
Lawyer Elijah Njeru, representing the DCP leaders, noted the lack of formal complaints and demanded lawful procedure in any future summons. He claimed that the process lacked basic and hence was simply vague accusations.
Polisi wamekataa kujua jina ama ni nani mlalamishi, lakini wanasema ni orders from above, mambo kutoka juu. Sasa wametushughulisha hapa, tukatuweka round and round and round, tukingojea ati watuonyeshe wengine, lakini hakuna. So mimi ningetaka kutoa mwito kwa serikali na hasa idara yetu ya Kenya Police, yote police service, DCI wakiwa humo ndani, wasikubali kutumia kisiasa na wanasiasa wengine kusettle political scores.
Despite the interrogations and what they call increasing interference, DCP says it will not back down from holding meetings and mobilizing its base. The DCI has yet to release an official statement on the legitimacy of the allegations. Vincent Karoli, KUTV.
Thank you, Vincent, for that report. That takes us to our first break right here on the Thursday edition of the KUTV Prime Time News. Don't go too far, because we have a lot in store for you.
Na uso wa jamii. Kupanda shuka, akawa tuzo. Ukakamavu wake, ukatii, na kumfanya mwenye bidii. Kwa machozi na makeke, akabaini jinsi ya kuwini. Huyu ni mwanamke ngangari.
Emmanuel Kutosi on KUTV every Wednesday at 8 p.m. and be part of Welcome. All right, welcome back. We head on to the northern area of Garissa County, where 3 individuals have been busted for running fake law firms. The Law Society of Kenya says they were taking on cases, contracts, and people's trust. The crackdown continues as the LSK warns that not everyone with a briefcase is briefed in law.
In a joint operation between LSK officials and the police, at least 4 unlicensed law firms were shut down in Garissa. LSK Enforcement Standards Committee Chair Steve Mbugwa said that the operation aimed to protect the public from fraud and ensure adherence to legal regulations.
And the sole purpose of our visit today was to weed out and arrest those persons who have been masquerading as advocates. We have received numerous complaints. We had visited this area early in the year, the month of February, and most of the offices were issued with notice to comply, which is a requirement under the LSK regulations of 2020, that every law firm Every office of an advocate within the country must be manned by an advocate who is licensed and registered for that particular office.
The Law Society of Kenya is now urging the public to verify the legitimacy of lawyers through the LSK website before seeking legal services. Zulfa Roble, an advocate and a member of the LSK National Council, said that the operation had come too late as many citizens had already lost money and time.
Waomba wakazi wa Garissa, mnapoenda kwa ofisi ya mtu ambaye anasema kuwa yeye ni wakili, ni vizuri muombe ajitambulishe. Law Society of Kenya inawapa mawakili wote kitambulisho cha mawakili ambayo ina picha yao. Hivyo ndio njia ambayo unahakikisha kuwa yule ambaye anakushughulikia ni wakili na ni mtu ambaye ana elimu ya kuweza kukusaidia kwa shida yako.
These people who are feigning to be advocates are really messing up people's cases in court. People are losing cases, people are losing property, people are losing money courtesy of these quacks. So, Law Society of Kenya, asanteni sana for putting the people first, for coming all the way to Garissa after our invitation.
The Law Society of Kenya has also warned legitimate lawyers against employing unqualified individuals, stating that stern disciplinary action will be taken against breaches of professional ethics. As investigations continue, LSK is reminding Kenyans to always verify their lawyers and avoid being exploited by unqualified individuals posing as legal practitioners.
And in London, President William Ruto defended his government's education reforms, including the employment of 76,000 teachers. He also boasted of a drop in food imports thanks to increased local production. Speaking to the Kenyan diaspora, Ruto urged them to invest back home, promising they won't need to import ugali in the future.
Hamjambo, mko salama?
While addressing the Kenyan diaspora members in Town Hall, London, President William Ruto, accompanied by the Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi, praised the government's achievements, including the reforms made in the education and agricultural sectors. In the education sector, President Ruto said that the government has exemplarily worked hard in fulfilling competency-based curriculum, CBC, as the government has already hired 76,000 teachers and is planning to employ 24,000 teachers. He continues saying that the government has changed the funding model from resource-based to student-centered finance model, which he said has helped in fair treatment of the university students, as the model helps the students to get up to 90% government scholarship.
2.5 years, number one, we have hired 76,000 teachers. We are hiring another 24,000 teachers before January, so we will have 100,000 new teachers teaching our children. Number two, we have changed the funding model from being resources to the university. We now have a student-centered financing model that makes sure that we treat every student fairly.
President Ruto also campaigned for the government's achievement in the agricultural sector, citing that the government has helped in reducing the importation of foreign foodstuffs, including sugar and maize, stating that this year the importation cost has fallen from 500 billion to 280 billion, hoping it will reduce to zero in the next 5 years.
We have been spending 500 billion Kenya shillings every year to import food, to import edible oil, to import sugar, maize, wheat, rice, 500 billion shillings every year. It is my intention, at least this year, I have reduced from 500 billion to 280 billion. I've cut off 220 billion.
Ruto's sentiments were backed by Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi, who called for Kenyans to make appropriate decisions, criticizing the misusers of social media platforms.
Deliberately nitasema sio social media, sio mtandao. Mtandao ni hadithi za jaba. Ukweli ni kukanyaga barabara. Rais wetu amekuwa akikanyaga barabara.
President Ruto's address in Town Hall underscored his intent to to not just connect with Kenyans at home, but also deepen collaboration with the diaspora for long-term national development. Vincent Karoli, KUTV.
All right, and Deputy President Kithure Kindiki and the team of Kenya Kwanza leaders toured Taita Taveta, touting development and unity. The message: national growth, local solutions, and zero room for tribal politics. Even as they promised security upgrades, they also promised no one will be left behind.
Usalama wa kitaifa ni muhimu kuliko mambo yote, kwa sababu hii mambo tunasema ya barabara, ya stima, ya masoko, kama hakuna usalama, hiyo mambo yote haina maana. Kweli si kweli? Kwa hivyo sisi tuko tayari kulinda usalama wa taifa kwa njia zozote vile.
Watu wa Taveta, vita vyetu sisi, vile ninavyovijua mimi, ni kupigana na mambo ya mashamba, mambo ya umaskini, mambo ya maji, mambo ya njaa, mambo ya barabara, mambo ya afya bora, mambo ya mashule bora, mambo ya maisha bora, mambo ya uchumi bora. Hatupigani vita ambayo siyo vyetu. Tumekubaliana?
Kwa hivyo wale ndugu zetu ambao wanataka uongozi, tafuteni kwa amani, tafuteni kwa heshima, tafuteni mkijua muamuzi ni mwananchi.
Drawing a line in the ridge during the Runyanya's declaration, they denounced former DP Rigathi Gachagua for stirring divisions in the region. They're now throwing their weight behind Deputy President Kithure Kindiki, urging the region to keep united, not West versus East. Now, in the year 2022, the Kenya Kwanza government promised to clean up the police force. 3 years later, excessive force and extrajudicial killings have only grown. Human rights groups say what was meant to be a reform drive has stalled, with justice taking a backseat and impunity behind the wheel. Over 1,600 residents of colonial-era villages in Kirinyaga will soon hold something more than powerful than political promises, title deeds. Under the KISIP 2 project, decades of disputes are being settled with ink and paper, not arguments and arrows.
Then we still have others who knows nowhere else except the roadside, the road reserve where they were born. And they are not few. We have a village in Kiaumbui, which is popularly known as Mambao, which is as a result of the Kenya road from Embu to Kutosi. When that road was being done, the old road that was previously used to connect Embu and Kirinyaga, people settled there. Over 200 families. So I used to say that you are going to evict them. Where will they go? And we are talking of people who have been there for the last 50 years. You just can't wake up and now come and remove them. Under this program so far, 1664 persons will benefit with the documents of ownership. 1,664 they will benefit. But still you have others that will be resettled. And they are not few, they are 35 families that will be resettled, especially in the Dogondo areas. But we have identified a vacant government land, public land, and we will settle them on that. Each family will be getting an eighth, and then we will not have the project affected persons, which will then unlock for the titling of leasing documents, preparation and issuance of leasing documents to the rest of the group. So in Kirinyaga,
much as we are grateful for the 11 and the upcoming 7, we still have a huge backlog of outstanding colonial villages that will also require preparation and issuance of documents. So we've already done land survey, we've already done planning, and then we are waiting for the regularization and issuance of the documents.
Take a short break right here. We'll be back in a minute with everything you need to know.
Hi, my name is Stella Tioi.
Jina langu naitwa Okemwa Mkwa James.
This is Mandela Gaya.
Ugonjwa ulipokuja ulichukua siku 3 ukaniweka in coma. 20 wamezikwa, 2 ndio wako hai.
I don't even know how it feels to see.
I feel like I cannot express myself well the way somebody who can walk can actually express themselves.
Ilichukua muda mwingi mrefu tena mpana ili kuikubali kwamba mimi siwezi tembea tena.
I've come to actually accept myself.
Ukijaribu kumsimamisha mtu umwambie tafadhali nionyeshe njia,
They find it quite strange talking to you.
We should just make schools integrated
Inclusive setups.
by providing the right facilities.
Tunachimba hadi mizizi kuletea yanayojiri.
So mimi naomba tu serikali yetu ya Mungu, jibarikiwe na Mungu, iweze kuteremsha bei ya mafuta.
Yanayokukumba tuna maizi, tuna kutetea sisiri. Kwa kweli ni speciali tukikupambia makala ya mwanamke mwake. Utasema hupendi mizizi ya habari. Nami Caroline.
Welcome back to the broadcast. Now, the separation of donated blood into key components is emerging as a life-saving intervention in maternal health. According to health experts, this targeted approach is helping reduce maternal deaths caused by excessive bleeding during childbirth. The Kenya National Blood Transfusion Service says the use of specific blood components like fresh frozen plasma has significantly improved the outcomes for mothers.
Because we have many diseases, cancer, emergencies, accidents, you may never plan exactly what you need in terms of planning of your blood requirements.
So this blood you are donating today is going to be separated into red blood cell. That one is rich in carrying oxygen throughout your body. You need oxygen. So we come now to platelets. It has some clotting factors. If some people are having disorders, about bleeding disorders, platelet is going to arrest that. Have you heard of hemophilia cases? Ukikatwa kidogo hivi damu inaenda without stop. So we use platelets. When it comes now to fresh frozen plasma, it has also some clotting factors. These clotting factors is helping those people, let's say those who are involved in accident, and they bleed too much until and the coagulants in the body are exhausted. So that is, we use fresh frozen plasma.
Promising progress right there. Now, Kenya's economy hit the brakes in the year 2024, growing at 4.7, down from 5.7. Sectors like construction and mining took a dip, but agriculture and real estate held firm. The Kenya National Bureau of Statistics projects a modest 5.3 rebound in 2025, so quite a roller coaster, not, but more of a bumpy matatu ride. All right, to move to our next story, where in the year 2022, the Kenya Kwanza administration promised to clean up the police force. 3 years later, excessive force and extrajudicial killings have only grown. Human rights groups say what was meant to be a reform drive has stalled, with the justice taking a backseat and impunity behind the wheel. Stephen Marshall with this report.
At the year 2022 campaigns, the Kenya Kwanza Coalition manifesto under President William Ruto committed to police reforms and accountability among security agencies. The manifesto, which was dubbed the plan, committed to ending police abuse, especially against urban youth, through enhancing police oversight, and the Independent Policing Oversight Authority (IPOA) and National Police Service Commission (NPSC), and creating an ombudsman to monitor human rights violations. The KK government also promised an ending of all forms of extrajudicial executions by security services and establishing the Coroner General's Office as per the National Coroner Service Act of 2017, as well as establishing a special tribunal for gross human rights violations and enforced disappearances. However, 1 year down the line, the cases of civilians being shot and dying at the hands of police continue to start raising questions about the government commitment to end extrajudicial killings. Despite earlier promises to uphold the rule of law and reform security agencies, human rights groups report a worrying trend of excessive use of force, arbitrary arrests, and unexplained deaths in police custody. The International Commission of Juries and Missing Voices Coalition documented a total of 159 cases of extrajudicial killings and enforced disappearance in 2024. Out of 159 cases, 104, representing 65%, were incidents of police and related killings, while 55 cases, representing 35%, were those of enforced disappearances.
I believe we can keep this country safe and secure without tormenting our people. We can efficiently and effectively suppress crime, monitor and disrupt and apprehend criminals without abducting, torturing, killing, or causing citizens to disappear.
With these shocking and deeply disturbing incidents, Kenyans continue to question the sincerity of the government's commitment to justice and accountability.
Kuna watu wengine watakuja watusikize, but kama tungali na regime itakuwa ngumu sana na sisi kukuwa na justice kwa anybody akiuliwa.
For Albert, may so rest in peace for now. But to me, I don't think there's gonna be any justice served to him and or his family, because it was seen like a few weeks ago, maybe a month. The government funded his family with 2 million, but that wasn't justice enough. To me, there should be something that should have been done more than just granting like some few funds to the family. But for anyone else who be done wrong, we just say sorry as the Gen Zs, but I don't think there's gonna be any justice.
As this unfolds, families of victims continue to live in grief, men still searching for answers and justice for their loved ones. The most recent case being that of Boniface Kariuki, who was shot during the June 25 protests, killing of a teacher and a blogger, Albert Ojwang, on the hands of police. According to rights defenders, the continued lack of accountability sends a chilling message that security agencies can operate above the law. As public outcry grows louder, the ball now lies in the government's court to turn its promises into tangible actions and prove that the plan was more than just a campaign rhetoric. Stephen Masha, KUTV, Nairobi.
We go silently and gently into the sporting arena where tributes continue to pour in for Liverpool's Diogo Jota and his brother Andre Silva, who died in a tragic road accident in Spain. Jota, who scored 65 goals for Liverpool, had just married his longtime partner Rute Kutosi 11 days earlier. Football fans mourn a star gone too soon. A reminder that life is like sport, but is beautiful, but also brutal. right, and of course we've come to the end of the Thursday edition of the KUTV Prime Time News, 40 minutes past the hour, and we had a lot in store for you, but that's all the time that we had to be able to disseminate the various reports. And among some that did not make to the headlines is that the ICT Cabinet Secretary, that is William Kabogo, has defended the move by the government to be able to gag or rather ban media stations from being able to air the live protest earlier within the 25th demos, saying that he was protecting the minors from witnessing acts of violence. However, the CS struggled to be able to answer under which law that this move was made. That and much more also concerning the matter concerning Boniface Karaoke, the face mask vendor who was shot in Nairobi's Central Business District, is that now the officers who were charged for this thing that we are able to witness will be now charged for murder after his demise. That and much more among the many things that we had for you, but we'll be able to follow up tomorrow to be able to give you reports on matters that are developing, matters that are happening, and also to keep you abreast with everything that is happening across the nation. To the whole team involved in the production of tonight's broadcast, it's a big bravo and congratulations for making this a success. To the team behind the scenes, ensuring that I'm coming to you at home in a proper sound and visuals, we appreciate them as well. From me, Emmanuel Kutosi, and Samuel Kelo on the sign language interpretation, it's good night, stay safe, and peace be with you.
The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom.